Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our Tuesday weather video for September the 13th. We are looking at a colder southerly coming into the New Zealand area. It's got mild west-northwest winds ahead of it, so that mix of warm plus cold means there will be a few thunderstorms today as that system goes up the country. Over in Australia, there's a big block of high pressure out here to the east that's slowly going to drift towards the New Zealand area in the coming days. And then way out to the west, this is actually quite a significant system. There's a low down there in the Southern Ocean towards Western Australia, and that's about to deepen over the next 48 hours south of Aussie, but it's going to drive in some severe weather just around coastal areas. So we'll talk about that as well. And it's all connected up to what is drifting towards New Zealand now that we're getting really into this spring weather pattern where it's mild one day and wintry the next. Speaking of the wintry side of it, this is the next 24 hours, taking you through till 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, showing the snow. Now, the heaviest snow up in the mountains, the mountain tops, Mount Cook, for example, places like that will get up to 40 centimetres, but the blue shows what's going to come down a bit lower, and that's not a huge amount, especially down here around Southland and Otago. For the most part, you're talking about less than 5 centimetres of snow, and in most cases just a trace, just a light snow flurry. It might settle on the ground briefly, but it's not likely to linger too long. But Southland's got snow down to about 100 metres. Similar story around Otago, and then as you go up towards Canterbury, that snow level goes further up, and you're really talking about the hills and ranges getting snow flurries. Banks Peninsula, the ranges around Wellington, and up here around Central Plateau, snow on the desert road is expected for the next couple of days, so be aware of that if you're driving through State Highway 1, and also Mount Taranaki getting a dusting. And you can see at the time that we recorded this, a few thunderstorms as that cold change mixes with the milder one ahead of it. So let's take a look at the forecast. Here we are for Wednesday. That cold front moving up to the North Island, snow flurries in Central Plateau, light showers elsewhere, or just showers coming through with that southerly change, and then the high from Australia drifting further in and calming things down. So you'll be seeing frost returning as early as tomorrow night in the south following this colder change. Meanwhile, this low down here starts to deepen on Wednesday. Nothing too significant just yet, but in the days ahead, that low gets bigger. So here we are on Thursday. Now that low, 973, that's quite deep, and it's driving in very windy weather all the way around it, but especially the southern coastline where around Adelaide you'll be seeing gusts, the northwesterlies just getting up to around gale force, and also over on Western Australia around Albany you'll be seeing strong winds there and a few showers, maybe some gales, and then the rain lining up with the hills on this side, northerlies coming down, and New Zealand blocked by high pressure from all that stuff just for now. So New Zealand's just got light winds, maybe a light southeasterly carrying on in the north with 1 or 2 showers for Bay of Plenty and Coromandel. Elsewhere, mostly dry, although down around Stewart Island and coastal Southland, bit of cloud, maybe a light shower, nothing too serious in there. By the end of the week, that storm south of Australia, quite a deep one now, so gales, even severe gales, possible through the coastal zones from South Australia to Victoria, and that rain band moving out to sea now, blocked by the high, and so therefore New Zealand's mostly settled. That system really wants to come into New Zealand, but the high is really going to push back. There's a small low to the northeast here that could drive in a few showers and rain to those same areas, Bay of Plenty, Coromandel, maybe parts of East Cape. So let's go into the weekend. Now we'll start with Australia again. That low, that storm splits in half. One half down in the Southern Ocean, the other half right up here near Victoria pushing into Melbourne. There'll be likely a few thunderstorms, some big downpours, blustery winds, severe gales coming into South Australia for Adelaide, calming down in Western Australia, and Queensland, who I'm barely talking about for the last few weeks because there's nothing going on. I have nothing to talk about. Maybe a couple of showers just coming up around Brisbane. That's about it. So in New Zealand on Saturday, the reason I'm not mentioning you very much is because there's also not much going on. Although that low nearby, worth keeping an eye on, could be driving in some bigger swells for those in the northeast. If you're a surfer, just be aware that that's out there as well. And our final map for Sunday shows it moving away, so I don't imagine the swells will be all that great. High pressure dominates over New Zealand by Sunday, so it'll be a cold morning on Sunday morning, cold when you wake up on Monday morning for the North Island. But the windy weather that Australia's just had, this spring-like weather, that's about to move into the South Island. On Sunday, your airflow's coming from New Caledonia and Vanuatu straight down, into Fiordland and Westland and Southland and Otago. So your temperatures will lift up. This system leaves Australia. Pretty windy though in the southeastern corner, blustery, wintry, some snow on the mountains and ranges, but you got that big high behind it as well. So there we go. That is the forecast through until the end of the weekend. I'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday, with our next update, and we'll be taking a look at the start of next week as well. We'll see you then.